Welcome back. On any given night, more than 4,000 young people in Minnesota are homeless. Hope for Youth is one of the resources available for local young people who are experiencing homelessness. In 2015, their drop-in center was visited more than 8,000 times. More than 5,000 meals were eaten at the center, and their food pantry was visited nearly 6,000 times. Danica has their story.
In the old creamery building in Anoka, there is a space that is changing lives.
Hope for You started about 3.5 years ago and was really just a place that was created by the community to meet the need that people heard about and had no idea it was happening right here in their own backyard. That there were homeless youth, unaccompanied kids who were homeless.
The idea seemed so out of place that a group of people got together and founded Hope for Youth. They have a drop-in center that is open from 2 to 7 p.m. every weekday.
For that period of 5 hours that we're open each day, we get to put our arms around these kids and have them feel that we really care about them.
Some of the youth end up here after making bad decisions, but many end up here at no fault of their own.
There are many reasons why a young person ends up having to walk through our doors. And they're never happy stories. Sometimes they get kicked out of their home. They will get in a fight with their parents. And maybe those parents are addicts or alcoholics or have their own mental health issues. There's a lot of strife going on in our world, and for many of these youth, they've been kind of failed by the systems and by the adults in their life since the day they were born. And, they become homeless, not by chance, but by circumstance. We take the time to listen, to find out and really dig into what's happened in their life. Sometimes, if they come out as gay, they get kicked out. Sometimes if they're, a young teen woman and she gets pregnant, she gets kicked out. And now we've got a pregnant girl who's out on the streets. And sometimes they do make their own bad choices, if they do drugs and, they get kicked out. That's, for a lot of people a little more understandable, but yet it isn't, because, we don't want to give up on kids, and we need to unconditionally love them even when they mess up. They're never going to be perfect. We're not perfect.
When they come to Hope for Youth, everyone's afternoon can look different.
So when the youth walk in, they decide what services they want to access. They can go into our food and hygiene pantry 8 times a month or twice a week, and they get to fill 2 bags. They get to kind of shop. We don't just hand them stuff. They get to pick what they want from what we have donated from our community. Our clothing closet, they get to go in there and decide, what is it that they want to wear. Homeless kids don't want to look homeless. They want to look just like my kids. And so we want to have high quality things. We have a donations team that just blows me away, because they're not going to put stained, torn, out of season items out for our youth. Our youth deserve better.
Amanda is one of the co-leaders of the donation team. She has been involved with Hope for Youth since the beginning.
The thought of a child being homeless absolutely tore at me. It was not okay, and I want to do something to help something.
So now, every Wednesday for nearly 4 years, she's been getting up and doing that something. She comes here, accepts donations, and works to get the best items to the youth who need it most.
Hi, how are ya? I have a place where people are going to bring in donations, and usually I'm a greeter, so I will greet the person. And then we have sorters, so we have people who are going to go through and decide what we can use, what we can't use, what we can pass on. So we've got places for that, for clothing. We also do the same thing for food and hygiene. So we've got a pantry person, and so we will also sort out all the hygiene items and the food items, and we'll get them to where they need to go. And then we have a beautiful closet set up for clients to shop, and the pantry works the same way. Clients come in and they shop it. So it's set up much like a store. So we need to get our items on the hangers and looking nice and in the right places, so your shirts are where you can find it in the sizes you find it. So that's kind of what we do.
Amanda has never helped one of the homeless youth shop. She's never seen the look on their face when they get new jeans or a winter coat. In fact, she has never met one of the people that use the donations that she works so hard on every week. But that doesn't stop her.
I keep coming back because I know that there are still people out there. And even sometimes on a Tuesday night, I say, I'm not going to go. I'm going to call in sick. I'm going to take a Wednesday off. I'm not going to go. But then you wake up and you're thankful for what you have. You're like, I just slept in a really nice bed. I just had a roof. I don't have any of those worries. I'm going to go in. It's nothing for me to come in. And then at the end of a Wednesday, you feel great.
As Hope for Youth is meeting daily needs of the homeless youth, they also have a new option in the county that provides all of these services, and also a bed and a roof.
We opened Hope Place as well, another housing option for 12 homeless young people here in Anoka County.
Their ribbon cutting in December was held just days before the first resident was going to move in.
I think this will be like the biggest blessing. They're going to be having lots of support services, their own apartment. I mean, it's going to be amazing. They're probably not, I mean, maybe a little overwhelming at first because they're going to come in with an apartment filled with everything they need, their blankets, their food. They're going to have a full-time case manager. They're going to have a lot of supports.
Everything done at Hope for Youth is about creating ways for those in homelessness to find a path out. Hope Place can create an environment to do that by eliminating the daily fears about where to sleep, what to eat, and how to stay warm. While at Hope Place, they have an address to receive mail, they establish rental history, and they work towards an education or a career.
Transition them into their own place eventually, so they'll have their own home out in the community. They might come here and maybe go to school for 2 years and get education. They might come here, start with a job, and then go into a career. So that's to move them forward, transition them to the next phase of their life.
We work with them to get them out of homelessness. You know, it isn't just about feeding them and clothing them. It's about looking for jobs, applying for jobs. You know, that's going to get them out of being homeless.
They will stay at Hope Place for up to 2 years, working on their path and their goals.
We really want them to feel when they walk into Hope Place and move into their apartment, we want them to feel like they're home. And that's a word that for many of these kids, they haven't felt in years maybe, if ever. We want them to feel like we really care about them, and we will. You know, we want them to feel that we are going to work with them and invest in them to get them from the point A to point B. And what is point B? And we're going to help them determine that. You know, what do you want to be? What do you dream of for your life? You know, have you always wanted to be an architect, or, you know, work in a hospital, or work in a preschool? You know, what is it that you would get excited to get up in the morning, like I do, and go to work? And so we really want them to feel from that first day like they're home.
For the 12 people living at Hope Place, they know where they will be sleeping every night. But for the rest of Hope for Youth's clients, when the drop-in center closes in the evening, they don't always have a plan.
We actually have volunteers who don't volunteer that late shift on purpose, because 7 o'clock is the hardest time of our day, when we know we have to close our doors. And sometimes it's raining or snowing at 7 o'clock, and even those days are harder than the others. It's cold out there, you know, and it's sad to see them walk out into that place of loneliness and darkness. But we know that we are going to be open the next day. They know we're going to be open the next day, and we're going to be here for them.
And until the reopen, the fortunate kids might be sleeping on a friend's couch, but the rest of them end up wherever they can.
We have youth living in cars. We have youth living outside, sleeping in the park. We talk to them about loitering and how that's illegal, and we have youth that get permission to sleep in someone's tin shed in their backyard. I mean, some of the stories, all of the stories are heartbreaking, but they survive and they make it work and they figure it out.
There's always a need at Hope for Youth, a need for volunteers, money, and items. They are constantly updating a list of what they need and sharing it with anyone who will listen. For Amanda, seeing the difference in the amount of food and clothes that are on the shelf from one Wednesday to the next is a reminder that what she does week after week really matters.
It's kind of startling, that how fast it leaves. And your heart kind of skips a beat, and then you just have faith, though, that we're going to put the word out, or that it's just going to come, and it comes. And then you get nervous again because it goes, and then it just comes again. So
The amount of items a person in homelessness can have is often limited, so the items that they go through most quickly are consumable.
food is always going to be the number one item that leaves the shelf, food. And then it's just basic hygiene products, the shampoo, conditioner, lotion, underwear, those kinds of things.
Usually, their needs are getting met, and they are able to meet the needs of the youth that they serve, thanks to individuals, churches, civic groups, and businesses in the county.
I've never seen anything like this community and how they give and they give and they give. It's amazing, and anybody should be proud to live here, to be a part of a community that does that for our youth who are on the streets.
For North Metro TV News, Danica Peterson reporting.
There are many ways for you to join Hope for Youth and their goal to end youth homelessness. We have links to how you can donate to them on our website, northmetrotv.com. They are always looking for volunteers, resources, and finances. We'll be right back.